Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a book tag, and it is the Mardi Gras book tag. This was created by Gina and Denny over at In Cold Lit, and I was actually tagged by them, so thank you very much for tagging me, you guys. There's a total of 10 questions pertaining to Mardi Gras, and I'm pretty sure it's happening this week. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but it's happening sometime this month. So, yeah, let's get started. The first question is designated driver. And for this, what reread book is reliable to get you out of a reading slump? I have to go with a book that I've been trying to not mention in any... I know I've mentioned it a lot in my videos, but it's just, I can't stop talking. And the series that I can always rely on that can get me out of a reading slump is Vampire Academy. Yeah, Vampire Academy. Gina and Denny picked Harry Potter, which I can see why they would pick Harry Potter, but I just have a more connection to Vampire Academy than I do. And I kind of figured like a lot of people who would be doing this tag would pick Harry Potter because, you know, it is an incredible series, and it is a great series to get out of a reading slump. But I have such a closer connection to Vampire Academy just because when I started reading the series, you know, it was like, I'm pretty sure the fourth book was not even out yet when I started the series, so I kind of have a more closer bond to it because of, you know, just because how I discovered it, and, you know, basically my love for the series I can't get enough of, so I can always rely on Vampire Academy. I can always rely on Rochelle Mead to get me out of a reading slump if I ever am in one. The next one is The Drunk Best Friend. Which character or characters would you like to grab a drink or hang out with for a night on the town? And for this one, I picked Leslie from the Ruby Red trilogy. Leslie is just such an amazing character. She is such a cool character that I would definitely just want to hang out with. I think she's such a loyal best friend to Gwen throughout the entire trilogy, and I know she would just be such a fun character to hang out with. I certainly would want to have Leslie as my best friend. So, yeah. Next one, Fat Tuesday. Which book on your TBR can you not wait to devour? And it is the Lux series by Jennifer L. Armitra. I've been trying to get my hands on those books forever now, but I just haven't had enough money to get it on another website, or when I always try to get it on Book Outlet, they're never in stock. So I really want to get my hands and tackle that series next. Another one that I really want to try and tackle is the Infernal Devices series. I can't wait to start, you know, that series and just finally, you know, get to reading Cassandra Clare books. So, yeah, I just can't, particularly those two series, I just can't wait to just get my hands on the other one, just get to reading next. So, hopefully I can at least try the Infernal Devices series next month, but I really can't wait to read those series. Next one is Lent. Which genre would you give up for 40 days? I'm kind of doing that right now. I'm just kind of giving myself a side break from that genre because I've always, you know, read books pertaining to this genre, and that's paranormal. Most of my books on my bookshelf, before I joined BookTube were mostly paranormal. And as much as I love paranormal, I had to just step back and give myself a break because there are other genres besides paranormal with vampires and werewolves and other things, whatnot, pertaining to outside of paranormal. So I kind of am taking a break from that genre. But yeah, that would be a genre that I would kind of give up for 40 days, which I kind of been doing lately, but yeah, I just needed to step back and give myself a break from paranormal. Even though it's one of my favorite, you know, genres, I had to take a break from it for a little bit because I need to spread my wings and fly through other genres in reading. The next one, Masquerade Mask. Which book you have read? And This one you can either pick a book that you are embarrassed that you've read, or a book you haven't read yet. And I kind of answered for both of those questions, because I do have books that would make great answers to those questions. One of them is I haven't been really embarrassed lately since the movie came out recently, and I did see it on Saturday, but that is 50 Shades of Grey. I always tend to get embarrassed because when I read the books, especially when I mention around some of my friends who, because most of my friends make fun of me because it's just, Twilight fan fiction, and it's like the worst literary book they've ever read, or ever heard of, or whatnot, and it's just basically Twilight fan fiction. I'm not really ashamed of it as much as I used to, but it's still like I would never take it out in public and read it, because it's just one of those books like, ooh, she's reading a 50 Shades of Grey book with erotic scenes in it and whatnot. So it's kind of one of the series I just tend to avoid not taking out to public. So yeah. The other question pertaining to Masquerade Mask is a book that you are ashamed that you haven't read yet, and that is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. Pretty much the entire Percy Jackson series and any other Rick Riordan books I haven't really read. I do have shame that I haven't read it, especially since everybody on BookTube has read the series and I'm left out because I haven't read it yet. So, yeah, I unfortunately did see the first movie. I haven't seen the second movie, thank God. So, but I do have interest in reading the series and just see what's all the hype about of the series, basically. The next question is the Annual Mardi Gras Parade. Which classic would you read time and time again? I don't really read classics that much, just because they are hard for me to read sometimes. But if I really did have to pick up a classic, I would pretty much pick up the... on my notes, I did put The Giver or Romeo and Juliet, just because I had to read them in school. But I'm actually going to change it and say The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Yeah, I would pick The Great Gatsby book up, even though I don't like the ending to that book at all. It's just one of those great classics that, that I actually really liked when I was reading back in high school. So, alright, the next one, New Orleans. Which fictional place would you like to party? And I kind of just copied, I'm just going to be twinsies with Denny and say, or was it Gina who said it? I don't know which one who said it, but I have to go with Hogwarts. I always want to go and party at Hogwarts. I think it would be a great place to go and party at. Did you see Goblet of Fire and that Yule Ball and the Yule Ball? Come on now. I would definitely want to party in that, be at that ball. So the next one, jazz music. What book makes you want to dance? And then this could be a book that you received or a book that you read. And this kind of pertains to both, because I did bought the book recently and I did read it, and just both of them just made me so giddy. And I seriously had a fangirl moment when I bought the book, and that is Ruby Circle by Rochelle Mead. I had a fangirl moment when I got the book. I reserved a copy at Barnes & Noble's because I knew I was going to go, I knew I was going to be in town to where Barnes & Noble was located at, and so I reserved a copy, and I went in, and I got it, and I was just having a fangirl moment because it looked so beautiful and whatnot, like, oh, so, and then just reading it too, I was like, oh my gosh, it was so, this is another mind-blowing book too, and I was just like, oh, I loved it. It was basically so much fun to read. I was just all giddy by the time I got to the end of reading this book, and it was just amazing. I love this series. Oh my gosh. I love this book, and this is the last book in the Bloodline series, and I was just completely satisfied by it. So yeah, I was just so giddy because it's, it's the last book in the series, like, oh my gosh, this happened, or this happened, and whatnot. I was just so giddy of all the things that was happening in this book. So you can just tell by my excitement how giddy I was from reading and buying this book. The next one is kind of a three-parter question, and it's basically the colors of Mardi Gras. And basically the colors of Mardi Gras just pertain to like certain, like, and it represents, it represents basically something, which I'll tell you right now. But yeah, it's kind of a three-parter question. So yeah, the first color is purple, which represents justice. And for this, I have to pick. And for this, which character do you feel got justice at the end of a book or a series? And the character that I picked is Harry Potter. We see him from the start of this book up until the end of Deathly Hallows, how basically I picked Harry Potter just because we've seen him go through so much in this series from start to finish. We see all the things that he's gone through, all the trauma that he basically goes through, all the things that he had to do and to sacrifice in order to, defeat Lord Voldemort in the end. And I feel, even when I was watching the movie, before I even read the books, I just knew, watching Lord Voldemort die at the end, I just felt there was so much, I just felt so much justice while watching Lord Voldemort die in the movie. And just not only for Harry, but for pretty much everybody in the wizarding world, just because they've been battling Lord Voldemort for so long, and I just knew that, in general, that, everybody, Harry and everybody else in the wizarding world got justice, So the next color is green, and which represents faith. Which character would you put your complete faith no matter what situations? And that was not that hard for me to pick because I always talk about her, and that is Rose Hathaway from the Vampire Academy series. Like I said it, I've said it in another tag, she's one of my favorite characters of all time, and she's just, I would completely put utter faith in Rose in any situation. But with any situation, I know for a fact that I can trust Rose Hathaway with my life. If I didn't say it earlier, Rose Hathaway is from the Vampire Academy series. Last question to this three-parter Colors of Mardi Gras question is gold, which represents power. Which book gave you a very powerful emotion after reading it? This didn't give me a very happy emotion at all when I read it, and that's Allegiant. If you read this book, you know what happens. If not, warning, you will feel really, really sad when you read this book. Just FYI. Basically, when I read this book, after reading this book, I felt that Veronica Roth ripped my soul out and buried it to the ground. In the grave. Yeah. Complete. Utter hot mess after reading this book. I couldn't pick up another book after I read Allegiant. Yeah. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. And the last question is, show your tatas! Get those beads! Like I said, I didn't create this tag at all. This one, which would you throw beads to? Like, which character would you throw beads to? And for this one was Magnus Bane from the Mortal Instruments series. If I see Magnus Bane, I'm going to throw him beads. I'm going to throw him some beads, whether he likes it or not. Because, first of all, he would probably enjoy the beads and probably give us some to Alec, maybe, or whatnot, and just probably maybe throw more to other people and whatnot. But I think he's such a sassy character, I just knew he probably wouldn't care if I throw him some beads. So, yeah, Magnus Bane's my choice. There is also a bonus question, and this is Southern hospitality, and the question is, give an example of a time when you received beyond expectations, beyond exceptional service in a bookstore. And I don't really go to bookstores that much, because I don't really have any in the area that I live in. The closest that I would have to go to is 40 minutes away from the town that I live in. So, but if I had to pick I didn't really pick a certain situation, but I have to pick Book Outlet because they have the most incredible customer service ever, and they just, if I ever have any problems, they can just go right away and fix it. There was at one point at a time that they couldn't, and they felt bad, because I knew for a fact they would have sent me another copy of the book that I bought if it was in stock, but they just couldn't do it because they weren't in stock of the book that got lost in the mail. But you know what? It was my fault at the time, so I don't really care. But they do go beyond expectations of customer service, and I do love Book Outlet for that. So yeah. So that is it for this tag. And I am going to be tagging Cassidy from Cassidy Von Che. She does live in Louisiana, so I think this would be a really cool tag for her to do since she lives in Louisiana. So I think that, and I'm also going to tag Ben from Bangity Bangs, just because from Bangity Bangs, because I just discovered him recently, and I think this would be a cool tag for him to do too. So that is it for this tag. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have a great morning, noon, and night. Goodbye!